lovelies, how's it going? Hope all is well. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to discuss a teacher who went viral a few months ago and why today she is saying that she fears for her safety. Bridget was a former lunch aide who became a social studies teacher in 2011. On June 2nd, 2020, a local news station video interviewed her at a protest against police brutality, and it went viral on social media. The interview had over 7.5 million views on Twitter. In the video, she identified herself as a mother and a teacher who was frustrated about what was going on in the world. She went from less than 400 followers on Twitter to 20,000.
I see so many diverse faces in the crowd.
I mean, I'm a black mother and I'm a social studies teacher and I'm raising a black son in America, so I have no choice but to fight and walk. That's all I can do.
Now, are you going to obey the curfew tonight?
I have no choice. I got to go home to my son, of course.
Okay, like a good mom.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But, what about some of the people who say that the riots and the looting are overshadowing the overall message that people are trying to convey?
The white mobs came and rioted in Tulsa and did the same Oh, excuse my language, but I'm just saying, what's the difference? The government gave $1,200 to people to survive on in March. What you thought was going to happen? You took summer youth away from the youth. What you thought was going to happen? They need jobs. Feed our babies and we wouldn't have this problem.
So you think a lot of this is born out of frustration?
Yes, they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And this is what sick and tired looks like. Unfortunately, these are multi-billion-dollar corporations that got insurance. So, no offense, but they'll be all right.
What about some of the mom and pop stores on Fordham Road that are owned by people of color?
Define owned by people of color because the banks actually run those businesses. That's what I said. So they could be a mom and pop store, but there's probably someone else that is not of their color funding their business.
All right, I got your point loud and clear.
This interview gained a lot of attention. So many people on social media reshared it, and many started to praise her for her words. After that interview, her school decided that they were not going to renew her contract. She stated, "With me protesting and it going viral, I feel like the school made a choice to respect their brand. I'm not mad at it. I'm just more hurt because I'm going to miss my children." After learning she was unemployed, she then planned to travel the country this summer to speak about racial injustices. She also launched a fundraiser on GoFundMe with a goal of $10,000, and she raised over $50,000. The GoFundMe was used to help the cost of trips, as well as community events, offering literacy classes, and she was able to launch and establish her own movement.
I just told my story as it is, that I didn't expect all of this to happen at all. And people are tired. We're not asking for too much. We're just asking you to hear. There's a lot of women in the same situation I am. We are raising young black men, and we are in fear of our own lives, but then also in fear of our son's life.
Everything was going good until this past weekend. This past weekend, she started to receive several threats. The day before she talked about the threat, she said, "After today, I just hope the people that support me make sure to protect me." The next morning, she said, "So I've been getting private calls since 4 a.m. with threats to my life and my son's. I just ask that I am kept safe from harm." Responding to one of her supporters, she said, "I never expected something like this to happen. I just had my son sleep in my room and I'll stay in for the weekend because I'm not calling the police." She then said, "This situation scared me because I don't want to end up with a hashtag behind my name, and I know that calling law enforcement will fall on deaf ears. I've called my uncles. They told me to stay in for the weekend until we can come up with a safety plan. I just want to take a nap, but my mind keeps running." Later that night, she said, "I am safe and covered thanks to all of you." It's very sad to see and hear other black women going through situations like this, especially when you know their heart is in the right place. Since the beginning of protests, there's been ongoing debates on whether or not black women should be on the front lines. And I've always been neutral when it came to this because I understand both sides of the argument. A lot of times when I see black women go out there, a lot of them are mothers. They have black sons. As a single black woman with no kids, I don't feel it's my place to tell a black mother whether they should be on the front lines or not. The way they view these protests are way different from me because a lot of times they put themselves in those shoes. A lot of times they think OMG, this could have been mine. When I went off to college and when I moved to Atlanta, my mom said she was so stressed and she worried herself halfway to death because she constantly wanted to know if I was okay. I don't understand a mother's worry. I don't understand how it feels to go to sleep at night and not know if your child gonna make it home or not. So my connection to the fight is completely different from a mother. I know a lot of people are going to judge her situation because she is out there. And I'm just saying I can't judge it because I understand her viewpoint, and her viewpoint is probably similar to those who fight in the name of their brother, that fight in the name of their fathers, that fight in the name of their uncles. So I completely get it. Just like I understand the other side. The other side of the argument is a fact. There's a lot of Black women that are risking their lives on these front lines for someone who may not even do the same for you. I've seen several Black women get arrested at these protests. I've seen several Black women be assaulted at these protests. And we've all seen the headlines of a Black woman who was on the front lines that was murdered. So when you go out there, you are risking a lot. And I do not believe, and I will not tell anyone to go out there without their own protection. I will not tell anyone to go out there without a strong support system. If you're going to be out there on those lines, the brothers, the husbands, the uncles, they should be standing right beside you. If these are the men that you're walking for and you're fighting for, they should be right there, because in reality, this fight is not only for the person that was slain. This fight is supposed to be for the community. You should not be out there alone, because that's who they target. They target the women that they see by themselves. They target the women they see are being the most vocal. That's who they want to silence, and that's who they go after. So you have to be careful. And this is off subject, but I just wanted to add this into the video. When it comes to protests and when it comes to protecting our rights, I want us to be mindful of Black women that need us too. When it came to Breonna Taylor's largest protest, less than 100 people showed up, and the majority of those people were white. So let's not forget that our sisters need us as well. I believe in protest. I believe in activism. I believe that people have the power and the right to fight for whatever and whoever they want to fight for. But my main priority is the safety and the welfare of Black women. You can't assume that people are automatically going to protect you, and that's just the truth. You got to protect yourself. I'm going to continue to pray for her and hope she finds strength and guidance throughout this experience. But you guys, let me know your thoughts and your opinions about this. What are your thoughts of Black women being on the front lines? And do you feel like the experience and the situations are different for Black mothers? Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye. Today, I want to shout out Bella Cosmetic Tattoo Center. This is a Black-owned business, and Bella is a fully licensed, certified, and insured specialist. And she specializes in stretch mark and scar camouflage, tattoo removal, scalp micropigmentation, 3D nipple and areola restoration, as well as other areas. I found her company on social media. My main goal was to get an old scar removed from when I was stabbed, because it's a constant reminder of my past, and although it may never be removed completely, it can still be less visible. No, I was not paid to advertise this. I enjoyed the education I received as well as the hospitality during my treatment. So if you guys want to check her out, you can go to her social media, and I will link it down below as well.